Well, it's really humbling to think about all that we've accomplished here at Integrity in such a short time. But one of the things I get asked a lot of times is, really, how did you guys create Integrity? And how did you come up with this vision? And did you ever think it'd be kind of what it is today? And so I really thought it'd be fun to have the two co-founders of Integrity also join me to help share some of their stories about how we really kind of started on this journey that became Integrity and really reflect on kind of where it is today. So I've asked Tom Sheath and Mike Wingate, the other two co-founders of Integrity, to join me. And I'm excited about this opportunity for us to really just visit and share. Guys, I get this question all the time is like, how did you guys do this? And I remember whenever I first met you guys I worked for an insurance carrier and an investment group. And I met you guys. You guys came in and you had a new product design idea that you were looking for an exclusive product. And we gave you the exclusive rights to that product. And we just hit it off. I don't know what it was, but it was like, you guys are brother-in-laws, right?
That's correct.
And soon, I became kind of a bit of a third wheel in some ways, but
you're a brother too.
You guys included me in the family right off, and we kind of did okay with that product, but it wasn't great, right?
Well, it was, I'll jump in if you don't care, but it was very cool how we started. I remember you and I talking on the phone, and Mike and I were like, well, we're going to do Medicare, we're going to focus, but we really would love a partner to come in with us, and you just said, how much? And Mike and I go, whatever you want to pay, and it just started from there, and the collaboration and everything.
That phone call changed my life. It changed a lot of our lives, I think. But it was funny. I remember you saying, like, you guys at the time were such a large long-term care office, and what you guys had created at Premier was exceptional, but you were really just getting started as well. And you were like, we got to reinvent ourselves. And when you made that call, you made that comment of, man, we just wish we had a partner that could run this. And for some reason, I was like, how about me, man?
Yeah, Tom and I have always been big believers in partnerships, and I think a lot of it's because we're family and we're partners ourselves, and we've always felt that together people can build and grow a lot better than trying to do it on our own. And that's why we were so excited that you came on to be a partner with us and help us grow the different divisions.
Yeah, so that was in 2003, and that spirit of kind of partnership and generosity, and really what we do today was really because of the two of you, and because you guys welcoming me in, and it's really, I think, part of our whole core values of partnership. In 2003, whenever I left my job, I remember everybody thinking I was completely crazy. In fact, I couldn't even pay my bills. If you remember, you guys both had to sign for like several years. You had to sign on a line of credit for me to be able to live. I was having to borrow money just to get going. I think whenever I joined you guys, we had 6 employees, I think, or 7 employees.
Yeah,
it was
it's probably right
including
around that
including us. I mean,
including us.
It was
yes.
a very small group, but we had big dreams, right?
Yeah.
And then we started working on a new product, a new exclusive product with what's now called Transamerica. It was Aegon at the time, and Monumental Life, and we were working on that new exclusive final expense product. And I spent most all my time going back and forth and working on that. We went so many times and spent so much of our own time and money working on that, that there was a lot of times that we were, what do you think? It was about a year or so that we spent?
A good year. Yeah.
It was a solid year,
A lot
right?
of trips to Baltimore and back, and to find out in the end that it wasn't going to be just an exclusive to us that we thought.
That was a bit of a rude awakening. We had kind of been working with this premise that we would have an exclusive product, that it would just be us. We designed the brochures, we designed the commission grids, we worked with policy underwriting, every aspect of that. And then the executive that was in charge of that said, I hate to tell you guys, but you guys are too regional. and we want to roll this out on a national basis. And so we're not just going to make it you. You remember how frustrated and disappointed?
It was definitely challenging because, I think we all thought we had the deal. We had spent a lot of time and money, back then in Baltimore. And like you said, we come to find out that there was competition for it. Yeah. And that became really, how do we handle it? What do we do? How can we make this a win-win for everybody?
Yeah, and luckily, I'm not sure how it happened, but we figured out who the other group was.
Yeah.
Great friends of ours, Dan McNerney and Shep Cutler, and we called them on the phone and said, guys, I think we're both trying to compete for the same deal, and we're competing against ourselves.
Yeah.
Why don't we take a step back and figure out how we can partner this thing together? And you made a call.
Well, so Dan, we made that call to Dan and Shep at the time and said, and they were like, how did you find out? And we said, well, we kind of heard maybe through a grapevine. What if we stop fighting each other and start working together, and we can all accomplish more? That was that whole idea. So we decided to meet in a central location. And we all decided to meet in Kansas City, and we said it was like a Ramada or something.
Yeah,
it was
by the hotel.
right by the airport, right?
Yeah.
And so we go in there and we sat down. It was kind of awkward. There was a few of us sitting there, and we're kind of going, guys, if we all stop fighting each other, we can accomplish more together. And this is what we can do. As we had told Monumental at the time, or Aegon, if we can all come together and create a national distribution, would you let us have the exclusive deal? And they said, yeah, but we only give you 2 weeks, remember?
Yeah.
And so we pulled together, we got to Kansas City, and we started talking about if we had a perfect scenario of all of us just having this idea of working together, what would it be? And the 5 of us, the 3 of us and Dan and Shep, man, we just started just brainstorming of what that could look like. And I don't know if you recall, we just started writing on the whiteboard of what would the perfect world be in the insurance distribution space when everybody worked together to serve more people. And then we started talking about let's form a company. Let's start a company together. And one of us said, well, what are we going to call that company? You remember that?
Yeah.
And we started talking about, and I was writing on the board. I was up there. I was writing, what do you guys want to be named about? And so we said, we want everybody to, every time they think of us, to think about integrity.
Yeah.
We wanted integrity in our commission grids and our recruiting practices. The companies, whenever they would partner with us, we'd want them to think in just integrity.
Yeah,
right?
and if you remember back, we did it a lot. Not only, it was for our peers in the industry.
Yeah.
We wanted everybody to be on the same playing field. We wanted everybody to have the integrity out there as we worked and supported agents. And I think that's...
Yeah, and like Mike said, and the reason for that is we're so tired of throwing contracts out there, throwing commissions, and someone promising this and doing side deals, and we thought if we could bring just that template and everybody's on the same playing field, all of our partners, if we can find the right people, what could we create?
Yeah, and so it was this kind of like this vision of all working together, and really rising tide would raise all boats. We talk about that a lot. And I remember talking and writing up there saying, what are we going to call this thing? Like, guys, we got to call it something. And we kept on seeing integrity come up. And Mike, you're the one who said, well, guys, why don't we just call it Integrity Marketing Group? And we all kind of looked at each other and were like, that's it.
That's it.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
And then I think you said, you think that's available? And so we got on the computer and we started looking up and going, I think it's available. Let's just call it Integrity. And that's one of the reasons we never call it IMG or use any acronyms. We always say Integrity because we want people to know what we stand for, and we want people to hold us accountable to that. And we also just believe that there's a lot of power in that word, right?
Yes.
And it really came back to, if we all come together, we could do something special.
That's right.
And I think that as we partnered with Shep and Dan, and that partnership was going. It was a challenging year because the products Well, we rolled out that exclusive final expense product, and then this little unknown thing came out called Medicare Advantage.
Yes.
And then everybody shifted to Medicare
Medicare
Advantage
Advantage,
and started
yeah.
focusing on that. And so the early days were a struggle.
Big time
Remember those
struggle.
days?
Yes.
Man,
Remember those days.
we were sharing hotel rooms.
Yes.
We had to print our own supplies.
We remember that?
Yeah.
So we forgot to negotiate that applications were
application,
included.
yeah.
So you remember I had a company print 1 million
Yeah.
pages.
We-
At one time, we had just pallets of them. I wonder whatever happened to all of those.
Yeah, I don't know.
But,
Hopefully we wrote business on all of them.
well, we didn't write that much, unfortunately. But the idea of us, kind of growing. But that's when we ran into some hard times, and then Shep wanted to retire and kind of take a step back, and then Dan was really focused more on the Medicare Advantage side, as honestly, we all were in those early days. And then we decided and really sat down and said, what if the three of us really spent more money? And I think at the time, Dan and Shep were kind of slowing down on some things, and I wanted to speed up. You guys wanted to speed up, and so we bought their interest out, and the three of us kind of took over Integrity. And I spend most of my days, most of my time with our team here in Dallas, really focusing on how do we create new products and be able to help the industry overall.
And you remember one of we had great reception of people loving the Integrity platform and at that time and wanting to come in, but the biggest thing they all wanted to do, and the question was, well, how can I be part of the ownership in it?
Yeah.
And so that was always something that we been working on from that time on.
I remember Ryan Kimball, Tom Fleming, a bunch of those early guys that joined up right off the bat, saying, Shane Van Loon,
Yes.
Howard Van Loon, saying, I want to do this. This is the best idea I've ever heard. How do I become a partner? And we just didn't have well, first of all, there wasn't anything to partner with because we weren't making any money.
Yep.
But it was one of those ideas is we got to figure this out, right?
And that's where, if we wouldn't have went through that, we wouldn't be where we are today, because that really was telling us if we can figure out that piece and we can figure out the ownership model, whatever that looks like, there's people willing to come join. And we've always said, if we can surround ourselves with great people, whether it's on Medicare, whether it's on final expense, life insurance, annuities, if we can find the right people collectively, where could we go? And how big could we get? Because no one was doing that out there.
Yeah.
And to the point is, I don't think anybody's doing it today, the way we're doing it.
Yeah.
And
And is that heart of partnership, right? Is that idea? And I think it was, again, it's because of you guys being willing to let me in as a partner, which you, in all fairness, you didn't have to do that early on. I paid some money to do it. It was the best investment I've ever made.
It kind of worked out.
It worked out all right, but it worked out pretty good. But whenever, I remember in 2015, I was up in y'all's office in Norfolk, Nebraska, and I was about to leave for the airport. And 2015, you had a new presidential election coming. A lot of talk about healthcare reform and different changes that might happen in the insurance business. It's on the heels of Obamacare and the ACA and some of the challenges that we face there. And I was meeting with the team up there, and I was about to head to the airport. And Tom said, "Hey, Brian, before you leave, can Mike and I meet with you, and let's go into Mike's office." And so we sat down in Mike's office, and you guys said, "Hey, we've got all of our eggs tied up in this basket. Everything, we've worked our tails off for this. Everything we own is pretty much right here. We're thinking about selling the company." And I was like,
Shocked.
You're going to do what? I was like, guys, I just got started. Like, I'm finally making some money. Like, you guys give me 5 more years.
Yeah.
You remember that? And y'all were like,
Yeah.
the funny part was, in all reality, was you were finally making
Yeah.
more money. And Mike and I were, at the time, we were starting to get concerned because there was a lot of talk politically out there. And Medicare Advantage was talking about coming backwards. And projection was coming the other direction, and who knew what was going to happen in the future. And we thought, maybe we should just look at options and just see. And of course, we surprised you a little bit.
I missed my flight.
Yeah.
I missed my flight that day.
Yeah. And it wasn't, I think we sat down and explained, it wasn't to get out of the business.
Yeah.
It was to grow in the business. And that's always been our main objective is what can we do to grow in the business? And so we looked at avenues.
I think it challenged all of us. I think when we started, once we got you on board with it, I think it challenged us a little bit as we started meeting is where do we want this company to go? Yeah. Is who do we want to be at Premier at the time? And then we had integrity as well, is what could we do? Because we wanted to be the best of the best. And so we had to challenge ourselves to do something. And I think that's why let's kick the tires a little bit and just see what our options are out there in the marketplace.
Well, I remember it did take me a little while to get on board. I think that's part of the reason we've been so successful at bringing other people on board, because we actually went through it. Like we went through, it's emotional, it's tough. And I remember sitting down with the two of you. And, guys, let's be honest, we have a tendency of groupthink a lot of times. We sit around and we can convince ourselves of anything. Yeah. Give ourselves enough beer or wine or whatever.
Yeah, all ideas become good.
All the ideas become good, and we made most of our decisions sitting around a bar most of the time, talking after hours and going, what if we did this or that? And like a lot of great entrepreneurs. But I remember sitting down with you, because I was really going, guys, like, give me a few more years. And I sat down and I said, I don't want anybody to have a group think, right? If you remember this. Yeah. And I gave all three of us a blank piece of paper, just a white piece of paper. And I said, I don't want anybody to talk. And I want all of us to write down why we want to do this. You remember that?
Yes.
And ironically, I brought that with me today.
Yeah.
The original version.
And it was the original version from 2016. And what happened is we all sat down and we wrote, didn't talk. I didn't say write down the number of reasons, but we all had 3 reasons. Do you remember that?
Yes. Yeah.
And the 3 reasons were in this order. We wanted to stay in the game. We just didn't want to take all the risk anymore. Yeah. We thought, man, this is such a great business. We want to stay at it. We want to grow, like you said. We just don't want to take all the risk. We wanted to do something to take care of our employees, number 2. We want our employees were like our family. In some cases, they are your family. Yeah. You have a son that works in the business. You have both of your kids working in the business.
Now. Yeah.
And we said, listen, like our employees are like our family. We want to do something to take care of our family and our employees. And we want it to be good for them. Whatever we do, it has to be good for them. And then 3rd, we said we want to take care of our family. We want to protect them. We want to make sure that we take some chips off the table so our family's taken care of and we're not, in a bad shape, whatever happens. But we wanted to stay in the game. Kind of came back to that other point. And when I found this, it was just remarkable. If you think about what we've accomplished here at Integrity, this has been a guiding factor. It helped us find our first investment partner with Steve Young and HGDC. Yes. And we told them this. We said, if you recall, this is what we require, right? Yeah. We want to stay in the game. We want to keep working. We just don't want to take all the risk anymore. Yeah. We see this business in the 2nd inning, not the 7th. We talked a lot about that, this kind of early innings. But it's got to be good for our employees. Yeah. And then at the end of the day, we got to take care of it.
And if you take those step by step, number 1, you take a look at it and what we've accomplished and what we've done, is that we've been able to accomplish the growth and do it by partnering, where we all 3 started out and partnering together, and by now bringing in more partners and being able to share what was good for us, to be able to share it with all of our partners out there. And it's such an incredible opportunity. And then you take number 2, the employees. Yeah. That was near and dear to our hearts because none of us would be here without the employees that we have. They're the ones that built us to where we are today. And we always wanted to be able to have a way to help them. And today, they're all partners.
Yeah, that was a big part. So I think that's an important point is we were able to stay in the game and grow fast. Like, guys, let's be honest. There's no way we could have gotten to where we are today as a business or personally without doing this deal, right? It was life-changing for us and our business. It was a life-changing for our business in particular. But for the employees, we sat back, and I remember whenever we brought on Harvest, and Harvest came and approached us about partnering with us as well, we sat down as the three of us again, and we reviewed these 3 points and said, all right, we've been able to stay in the game and grow.
Yeah.
We've been able to take care of our families, but we still want to do more for our employees. And I remember whenever we were talking about it, we said, the only way we'll do this is if you make every employee an owner of the business. Yeah. And then we did something that I don't think anybody was prepared for. We said this accomplishes the third goal, this other goal that we had out there. Yeah. And if you don't want to do it, we'll do it personally. You remember that call that we had?
Yeah.
And we've been talking about doing that for years.
It was just hard.
Just
figure
a way to do it.
Because, Mike's right. And our employees are integrity or Premier or Agent Pipeline. It doesn't matter, because without them, none of us would have the success we've had. And the success falls back to every single one of them, no matter what their role is. And so how could we truly reward them, in addition? And it's always been on our mind, is how do we collectively do it? And to finally get that piece of the puzzle and how rewarding that's been to see is amazing. And it's just incredible to see their look in their eyes that they're part of something special.
Yeah, and it really, we've got these 5 core values that we've set at Integrity, and one of them is partnership. And it took it all the way down throughout the organization that everybody here can become a partner. It's a powerful message, a powerful idea, and the life-changing ability that has, or at least life-giving. Honestly, I've said this a lot, and I know that you guys would agree. I don't care if anybody remembers what we've done or I've done here. I mean, we do a lot of great things. We're excited about the business. We're super passionate. Nobody's more passionate, I don't think, about serving the American population with their life and health insurance needs than we 3 are. But I don't really care if anybody remembers after we're gone any of that part. The thing I want people to remember the most is what we've been able to do. And frankly, the thing I'm most proud of is the fact that we were able to take care of our employees the way that we have, because they are the key to our success. And this is a people business. And if we ever forget that, we're going to be out of business. And putting people first matters. So that goes into our employee benefits. It goes into our work environments. It goes into everything. And Mike, you've always said, guys, this is a relationship business. We've got to build relationships. It's got to be about people. And that's I think, again, a way that I think we've put our money where our mouth was. Yeah. That money that we paid out came from somewhere. Most of it came from the 3 of us. Was the best investment we will ever make. Yeah. And I'm more proud of what we've been able to accomplish there than probably anything else.
Yeah, and then you look at, bringing great minds together with all the partners now, and what we've been able to accomplish with them, and sharing ideas. But more importantly, we could have never grown to the point that Integrity is today without all the partners and pooling things together. And look at the amazing things we're doing now in IT and HR and putting all these things together in marketing. It's just been amazing, and none of us could have done it alone out there.
Well, and I don't think the 3. I agree completely. I don't think the 3 of us though realized how much other people had these same three points, because all the partners that we talk to, it's ironic. I talk to them because what do you want to do here? What are you thinking about? Yeah. And they talk about, I want to stay in the game. I want to keep working. I'm excited about the future. just won't take all the risk anymore, right?
Yes.
Or I need more investment in these areas that you're talking about. And number two, my employees are the most important thing to us. We've got to make sure they get taken care of. And then the third is they always say, well, I now also want to take some chips off the table and protect our family. And I'm like, those were the same three that we all had. And I don't know that we realized how big of a need there was in the market that we've been able to solve by being able to put all of this together as a partnership. So you go to Ryan Kimball and say, now you can become a partner. Dan McNerney and his incredible team. Hey, Dan, why don't you guys come back to Integrity and be a partner? It's a full circle. That was one of the most exciting ones that we've ever partnered with.
Brought the partnership back together.
And ironically, when we partnered with Dan and Joanne and Bobby and David and that team, I was speaking to all of their employees, and it was emotional to me because it brought it all back together. I know it was emotional for you too. And I was looking at our original slides that we set out to say, at Integrity, we really set this vision when we first started it, and we wanted to be the largest and most important distribution partner in the insurance business, and we wanted to, do everything we did with integrity, and we had these goals that we set out, and I actually brought those slides up whenever we were at Dan's office, and I said, can you believe that back in 2005, whenever we put all that together, 15 years later, we are, at this point, the largest distribution force in the business, and I think we're just getting started.
What's really cool about the whole scenario is all of us loved our individual businesses, but yet we all wanted more. And it's much funner to run a business when you have friends as partners. And then collectively, what could we do? And it was amazing when we started the process and, Mike White jumped on board, and it was like one of those wow moments. It's like, we've known Mike for a long time and tremendous organization. It's like, Mike, here's kind of that vision. And he immediately says, I see that vision too, because I think there was a need out there for people to come together, great people that, we don't want to fight against each other. We don't want to compete against each other. We have a lot of fun when we get together at meetings and social functions. And what if we all came together collectively? What would the power of that company look like? What could it do to truly help individuals in the country who we're truly helping, whether they're seniors or younger age people, is what can we do to better their lives and do it in a way where it's beneficial for everybody? And that's what's so cool, is we're not fighting with people anymore. We get to sit around the AC term, the campfire, with great minds, great people, and collectively look what we're doing now, and we're just starting. And the old joke was that rocket fuel, if we just get some rocket fuel, and what could we do? I mean,
and I think the cool thing is that we've never lost sight of why we're in this business to start with, and that's to help the consumer to protect themselves. And I think that's everybody, all of the partners together. We've just been able to do it in a larger fashion now and help more people. And that's the greatest feeling in the world when we know that we've helped people.
I think that's really important, and everybody has their own brands. They continue to run their own business. But we've said that we're one team, one vision, one focus around this one goal, right? In fact, that's why we have this Integrity I. It's symbolic of the Roman numeral number one, being one team, one vision. It's symbolic of setting the gold standard. It's one of the reasons it's gold, that we want to make sure that we're world class in everything that we do. But there's this space in between there that also represents one, and those are one client at a time, right? It's one person at a time that we're serving on what is going to be one of the toughest days of their life. And that's really our core mission and purpose here, is to make sure that they have the life and health and wealth products there to take care of them when they're at a hospital, or they're at a nursing home, or they're at a funeral home. Their family's there It's one of the most toughest, difficult days of someone's life. And we want to have the financial products there to take care of what that need is. And that's why we even have the Integrity Eye, and we prominently display it, is because we can all come together. And Tom, you had the idea of, what if we had a lapel pin? Could you figure out a lapel pin? Because I want people to know this is our purpose. This is the Integrity Eye, and it's about us being all one team, one vision, one goal, but it's about one purpose. And that's why even with the lapel pins of eye, and we use the eye so much, is to remind us of what you're talking about, of making sure that we're there for people when they need us the most. And that's probably what I'm the most proud of as a business, aside from what we've done for employees.
Yeah, I think one of the other things that integrity is, what's been real satisfying, at least for me anyways, is the partners we brought on, how humble they all are. Is one thing, you can be successful and stick your chest out, but it's another thing to be a good partner, to run a great business, and you don't have to go out and do anything, but you do it. And all of our partners, when you bring them collectively together, the humility that's there just to be the best that we can be, no one's there looking at themselves, but they're saying, listen, I'm part of something bigger. And I think that transforms to our employees, that transforms to our business, that transforms to charities we can help out. And when you bring humility into success, that really, I think, kept us all focused down the correct path of doing things the right way, like we've always had, but doesn't let us steer off that path to whereas, okay, let's be something that we're not. And that's been one of my greatest takes.
I think a lot of that is, no matter how big or small the organization that comes on board and partners, we're all equals, every one of us. And no, it doesn't matter the size or how much business they write. We all have the same opportunities, and equal partnership is the other one.
I think that'll be a huge draw to future partners we bring on when they get a chance to meet our exec teams, meet some of the partners out here, or know some of the partners. They're going to ask, what's it like? And I'm 100% confident every time it's going to be, you need to get on this team. You need to become a partner. It's absolutely incredible. These are the greatest people out here. Mike's at different sizes, but it doesn't matter.
We're all equal.
We're all equal.
That's a huge
And the amount of success we all can have together, and you're not a lone ranger out there. You get to be part of something bigger, and your voice matters and your business matters. Is collectively, this is the team you want to be on.
Yeah, it's an exciting opportunity. I think we would all agree we're just getting started.
Yes.
Like we talk about that a lot, but I don't know that we've really accomplished anything yet. I think we've laid a great foundation, but for those new people who want to join, or new carriers that want to work with us, we have so much exciting opportunities ahead that I believe that the best days are ahead of us. And just like we said early on, and back in 2016 and 15 when we were talking, is we are in early innings. I still feel like we're in the second inning.
Yes.
And writing these early chapters of this book, as Steve Young would say, and we've got so much potential that we need even more people to join us to help us serve more people in this market. Right. For sure. So, guys, thank you so much for allowing me to become a partner and really helping establish that partnership culture that we have, and treating me as an equal and making me an equal in your family, because I think that really has set up a lot of our core values and the way that we work together as we welcome even more people into our family, and they make them equal partners as well. So thank you for all that you guys have done for me and my family personally. I don't know where I would be without you, but I can tell you that I know we're going to go somewhere really special together as we continue to grow this.
Well, I want to personally thank you, for me and my family, for driving the train for us, because you've got the tough job now going forward, is continuing to drive this train, and we appreciate everything you're doing to help us out.
And I'll thank you as well, and thank Mike as well. I mean, if we go back so far, you know, back in the days where, you know, sharing hotel rooms, doing everything, and we look back today going, you know, if we looked 31 years ago and we got in the business knocking doors, we'd be here today.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an incredible ride, and collectively, none of us would have been here unless all three of us would have been here just with ideas, and then found other great partners to be part of that,
And Dan and Shep.
everyone.
Everybody.
I mean, it's just incredible,
yeah,
and
we
the
couldn't have done it
opportunity,
without the other one.
and we're just starting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's cool. We're just starting.
Well, thank you again. I love you guys more than you ever know, and you guys are family to me. So
Yeah,
thank you.
your family as well. Love you as well.
Appreciate you guys.
All right.
Thank you.